The lock gave a loud final snap as I turned the key, its metallic echo cutting through the tension that gripped me. Eleanor's laughter rang out behind me, a light, careless sound that clashed violently with the storm in my chest. It felt like mockery, unintentional perhaps, but cruel all the same. The last 6 months had been a slow, relentless unraveling. Her late nights at work, the hushed conversations behind closed doors, the sudden evasiveness. My heart, once whole, had splintered into 1,000 sharp pieces, each one a testament to the betrayal I had tried so hard not to believe. She froze as soon as she stepped through the door, laughter dying on her lips like a song cut short. Her eyes, once filled with warmth and mischief, now widened in alarm. One hand flew up to stifle a gasp. Her face drained of color. It was all playing out just as I had imagined for weeks. Right down to the way her body recoiled from the truth she couldn't ignore. On the bed behind me, I had arranged everything. It's not just messages or screenshots, though those lay there too. Printed in black and white, cold and undeniable, but real, tangible items, relics of the affair. Her velvet scarf, the one she'd claimed had been lost months ago. Covered from the glove box of Daniel's car, a crumpled receipt for a romantic weekend at a remote inn. She had told me she was visiting her sick mother that weekend. A large photo of the two of them outside a bar downtown, their bodies leaning into each other in a way that couldn't be mistaken. Their faces were softened by twilight, but the intimacy was unmistakable. Eleanor stumbled backward, her lips trembling as she whispered my name. "Michael, I can explain." My voice was steady, disturbingly calm. Explained what exactly, I asked, watching her squirm. "How you kissed me goodbye each morning while weaving lies. How you chipped away at our marriage while I was too blind to see." Her mouth opened, then closed. Nothing came out. She reminded me of a wild animal caught in a trap. Eyes darting, breath short, panic rising. This was the moment I had envisioned so many times. The confrontation, the unveiling, the reckoning. I took a step forward, letting the words strike. "Where is he, Eleanor?" My calm exterior was starting to fracture. "Where's Daniel?" Her response was barely audible. "He's at work." I laughed, but there was no humor in it. Just cold, bitter disbelief. I let that sink in, her name hanging heavy in the air. "He called in sick today." Her expression twisted, and I saw it. The moment of realization, she hadn't known Daniel was married. That little revelation hadn't been part of her fantasy. I hadn't planned to involve anyone else. But when I found out he had a wife of his own, I couldn't resist. Misery loves company, after all. Without another word, I pulled out my phone and dialed. Daniel answered. "You need to come over," I said, voice like ice. "There's something here you need to see." The next hour was chaos. Daniel arrived first, his usual arrogance melting into stunned silence as his eyes swept over the room. The damning evidence. Eleanor's crumpled figure. Then his wife showed up. Her face pale, her fury palpable. What followed was anything but civil. Screams, accusations, tears, blame flung back and forth. Their illusion shattered in front of us all. It was messy, necessary. They needed to see the ruin they had created to understand what they had taken, what they had destroyed. Eventually, the house grew silent again, heavy with all that had just happened. Eleanor looked at me through swollen eyes, her voice barely more than breath. "Michael, please." But there was nothing left of the man who had once loved her. Part of me had died slowly, bled dry by lie after lie. "It's over, Eleanor," I said. My tone was final. "I want you out." Ow. The divorce was brutal. Long days in cold offices, painful meetings with lawyers, bitter court hearings. She tried to spin the narrative to make herself the victim, but the truth was too well documented. She couldn't lie her way out of it anymore. Daniel's marriage didn't survive either. It collapsed just as violently. The wreckage as ugly as ours. I took no comfort in their suffering. There was no joy, no satisfaction, just a tired kind of emptiness. Their pain couldn't undo what had been done, couldn't make me whole again. Time passed. The months stretched on slow and uncertain. I sold the house, the one where we had once laughed, fought, dreamed, and moved to a new city. A fresh start. The pain dulled. The memories softened around the edges. I learned to live with the shadow of the past without letting it consume me. I learned to find peace in the quiet, to let go of what I couldn't change, and to look ahead, with cautious hope. Years later, in a cozy little cafe on a rainy afternoon, I was lost in a book when I heard a laugh, familiar, soft. I looked up and there she was, Eleanor, older, tired. There were lines on her face that hadn't been there before, a weariness behind her smile that hadn't existed back then. Our eyes met. In that single second, we were both transported back to that bedroom. The betrayal, the heartbreak, the end. Oh. She looked away. There was no anger left, no bitterness, only calm. I had survived. I had rebuilt. And that more than anything was my quiet victory. I stepped outside into the light, leaving her behind, just like the